Hi there, Jamie here today at Teachers Tech. Hope you're having a great day today. Today I want to show you how to use Microsoft To Do. Microsoft To Do is a free app from Microsoft. All you need is a Microsoft account that can help you plan your day and organize tasks. Now, this is a great app to use because it's cross-platform. So whether you be on Windows or Mac or on your mobile devices on Android or iOS, it's going to sync with all of them if you're on the same account. And if you're using Outlook, it even syncs with that. So let's get started on how to use Microsoft To Do today on Teachers Tech. So first of all, I just want to show you where you can install or use Microsoft To Do. And I'm on the Microsoft To Do page right here, and I'll put the link to it down below in the description of this video so you can just click on it and go to it. And I'll timestamp everything in this video as well, so you can jump around to different parts of it. But you can see at this part here on this page, you have some different options. If you want to download it and put it on your computer, take a look right here. You can see if it's Android, Windows, or on your iOS right here. So click on either of these and you can go to the proper place, and it is free. Like I said, you do need a Microsoft account. You can also use it online. So if I go ahead and click to get started, I can go ahead and get logged in from the account that I already have. I could use any of the number of different Microsoft accounts I have. If you don't have a Microsoft account, all you have to do is create one right here, and then you'll be able to access it for free. When you log in using the first link that I showed you from the To Do page, this is what you're going to see right here. So, and I just want to open up the other app I have installed on my computer right next to it. So you can see this is the app I've installed on my computer, and this is the online version of it. So things are going to sync across these, and you can use both of them. I just want to point out too that if you take a look at this, it says To Do at the top here to know that you're on this. But you're also kind of in Outlook right here. So if I go down and click on this first one, you're going to see the mail part right here. And then I can click the To Do logo, the To Do one, and it will bring me back To Do. The other way you can access this online, if you are part of the Office, if you have your Office account, Microsoft Office 365 account, you can go ahead and click Sign In here, and you can also get to your Outlook. So what I mean is, go ahead, if you do have that, try signing in here. And when you're signed in to your Office and you have access to all of your different apps, I'm just going to go ahead and show all apps here. You can go ahead and look for this a couple different ways. You can access it through Outlook, how I just showed you, but there is also To Do right here. If I go ahead and open up Outlook, you're going to see that the To Do is here. So the other thing I just wanted to point out too, if you're using Microsoft Outlook on your computer, that when you go ahead, so I'll open up Microsoft, the task manager here at the very bottom is connected to Do. So it's going to sync between both of these, and I'll talk about that as I go throughout the video. So find which way you're going to be probably most often working on. For this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to use To Do from the installed app on my Windows computer, but as I said, it will sync across the platforms. I have Microsoft To Do installed on my computer. Down below on my taskbar, you can see I have it right here. So I could click and open it here. And if it's not there, you could just do a search for it and it will come up. There we have Microsoft To Do. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and I'm going to get logged in. I can get logged into more than one account at a time, and I'll show you how to do that too. But like I said, you have to have a Microsoft account to do this, and I'm going to get signed in with mine. I'm going to choose this first one here, and it's going to go ahead and get signed into Microsoft To Do. And that's how it's going to connect across your devices. You need to make sure you're using these same accounts. Now that I'm logged in, I just want to talk a little bit about showing you how you can log in, log out, or add another account. If I drop down, you can see I have Manage Accounts right here. This shows me what account I'm logged into, but if I go to Manage Accounts, I could sign out at this point, or I could add another account. So I'll just continue with my other one. And at this point now you can see how it's changed, but I can quickly change accounts just by clicking back and forth in case you're using multiple ones. And you can see with this one, it has some practice. If you're loading up Microsoft To Do for the first time, it just has some information, some kind of, show you how you could use it. But I'm going to be starting from a blank one, and I'm going to be using this account to do my walkthrough today. When you first open up the Microsoft To Do app on your computer, you're going to see My Day. And My Day gives you a quick place to quickly add task to that specific day. So for an example, I can go down where it says Add Task, and I'm going to just type create a video on To Do, just like that. So, and notice as I'm typing into it, we have some quick shortcuts over here where I can add it to a list, and I'll be talking about that later. And if we could add a due date, remind me, or we can do a repeat, but you can get to this again in a different way. So I'm just going to hit enter like this, and I have my task, and I haven't added anything else to it, but I just want to point out you can make this important. So as soon as I make this mark as important, it becomes over here in the important one. So if you have a different task in a day, you could have different levels of how important. You could just star them, but you can click it again to turn it off. If I click on the task, you're going to see this open up here, this window, and this is where I can add more steps. So in this process, you could add more steps to complete this task. So if I was going to go ahead and add a step to this, I'll be saying install. So the first thing, if I was going to install the app, I'll just go ahead and put that as a step, and I can hit enter, and I could do another step, so I can break this down. This is added to my day, so my day is right here under this tab. I could add the remind me, so when do I want to get reminded? I could go later today by 4 p.m. I could add a due date, so is this going to is this due tomorrow, today? I'm going to make sure it's due today. I could repeat this. So if this is going to be something that is going to occur more than once, you can see how you can customize that for repeating. We can also add a file. So if there's something important that you need to attach, you just simply click and go and select that file and add it to this task. And we can add notes. So there's lots of things that you can really put more information into each task as you go through. And notice that you can have the delete the task right down here. Now, I'm going to close out this, and I just want to mention that the background, you can see how the picture is there. I can quickly change that. So if I look, there are different themes. As I select different ones, you can see how it changes if you just want colors to it. So you pick what you want from there. And we can see a couple other options of print list, email list, pin to start, but I'm going to go over list soon. I just want to talk about a different way you can add task also. Notice that the information I just selected and added to the task shows up underneath, and I can go through and modify these at any time if I want to go back, and I can hit the X's to turn those off. Now, I just want to point out that you can see this task in a few different places where you have from my day. It is under the planned now, and it becomes a general task. So another place you just might want to add task to is from this point. And this is how a lot of times I add my task, because it doesn't necessarily go to my day, and I don't start about thinking about adding all my tasks to this individual day, but I add it to here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a few more tasks here. So I've added a number of tasks to my Microsoft To Do. If I go back to my day, only the one that I created on my day is there, but these tasks are still all there. So again, that's what I wanted to point out, depending on how you want to create your task, not all might relate to my day. Now, with all these are all over the place. You can see I have from creating videos on Word or video editing, I have to pay school fees. Here's another Excel one, finish discussion questions for a course I'm taking, pick up some milk. All these different ones, and they're kind of getting messy, and this list could go on, and I need to organize this a little bit better, and that's what I want to show you in a bit here. Now, if we ever get done any of these tasks, you can simply just click right here And I don't know if you could hear that chime, but there was a little chime there, and it shows that it is completed. If I go back to my day, you can see it's completed there. But you can, if you made a mistake and like, oh, I didn't mean to click that, I can just click off of it and it becomes something I still have to complete. Now, before I move on, again, with the task, with creating the list and groups, I just want to point out the themes and everything. You can change your themes to this page also to what I showed you. If I go to the settings and I check right here and go here, settings, you can see how I can customize the look a little bit more. I hear some general, you want add new task on the top. That's the way I have it turned on right now, move start task to the top. So take a look before this what you'd want. You could see also that we have a completion sound, and that was the sound that you just heard. And as I go through, if you want to make a dark theme, you can see quite quickly that changes. I'm going to use my Windows default. This is what I wanted to point out. We have right now important, planned, and different ones on. So if I go back, you can see these are the ones important, planned. If I go back to my settings again, if I wanted to have my completed task also, so if I click this on and go back, you'll be able to see that completed is there too. So if I do check one off and go to completed, it's on that list. So depending on how you want to set things up. Now, the other thing I just want to show you is how everything is syncing together. So I've been doing this on the To-Do app, but if I go over to my Microsoft Outlook and open that up, pop that open, and you can see that these are here too. So they were added to that because this is syncing with my Outlook task. And if I open up my my window here that has the online one, all of these are in here too. So if I go back and just look at the different ones here, I'm just going to refresh my page here. You can see all the tasks, and I even have the completed one. So everything is syncing. Sometimes it just takes a second or so to make sure that it is all refreshed and everything. All right, so let's go to our next point that I was going to make, and that was going to be about creating list and tasks, because if I look at all these tasks, I want to be able to sort them out better. So as I pointed out, these tasks are all over the place from work to personal. I could rearrange these by simply dragging them up if I was just going to follow from the top down to be completing them and checking them off. But another way you can do this is to create a list. Now down here you can see new list. I'm going to go ahead and create a list, and I'm going to create one called Microsoft Videos, because you can see I have Excel and Word here, and I want to put them just with different video ideas I have for Microsoft. And this To-Do one could be a Microsoft one too. So if I go ahead and just go and add a new list, so I'm just going to hit plus, and you can see it's ready. It's untitled right now. You can change the name after, so don't worry about if you change it, you might get it wrong. So I'm just going to call this Microsoft Videos, just like this. So I have this list now here. My tasks are up here. I can add these to a list. And so to do this, if I go to, let's say this Word one, I'm just going to right click on this and notice the different options and the shortcuts it gives you, from Control T to add it to today, to Control D to mark it as complete. So if you're using the shortcuts, that can speed you up. I can delete the task down here. But what I want to do is actually move this to Microsoft Videos. So now I have that one inside here. So if I go to this is organized in that topic of a list. If I go back and I notice, oh, this is another one that I wanted in there too. So I can go move to Microsoft Videos. This is also a Microsoft Video. So now I have these three with the completed one. I can also make a different list. So let's say if I was going to make another one on video editing, like so, and I'll just add this and video editing. And if I go back to my task, this one on hit films here, and I can move to there. So I can have these different, you can see I have one in here, two in here. I could make another one for personal and maybe add some of these other topics in here. So that can really help you organize your everything with list on it. So I am going to make one more. We'll just call this personal, like so. And I'm going to go back to my task, and I'm just going to go and right click and add to a few of these too, just so I have some in each of them. And I'm just going to go like that. And I'll just leave these last two, but you can see I have a number of different ones. And what I've noticed though, Microsoft Videos and video editing are kind of the same. That's kind of based on my YouTube channel, creating videos for YouTube. I can make a group to put multiple lists in. So if I go here, and you can see create new group, I'm going to call this one YouTube. I'll just call this my YouTube videos, like so. Because as you get more and more things, it's gonna help with organization. So what I can do, if I right click on this one, I can move list to groups at this point. So now I've added that one to it, and this would also be one I could move to there. So now if I look at this, I've grouped my list together, so it can really help with organization to see where you get your different tasks in and completing them through it. The other thing is, if you need to change, as I mentioned, to change the name, if I go to any of these, if I go to this list here, and I could go up to these three little list options here, these dots. I can rename the list here, and I can change the theme just like I've showed you before, but you can rename it if I wanted to change it to something else. The other thing I can do is share the list. So let's say if I'm working with somebody and I'd like them to see the list and maybe check off if they're doing some of the other stuff. So especially if it was personal, because I'm sharing this with my family, maybe someone else could do this, I could go ahead and share this. I could create this invitation link, and at this point I can invite them via email, or you can see how I can manage access and everything. But if I go ahead and share the link, I could copy and send it to them, and they would be able to help complete the list if it is kind of a collaborative effort to complete the different tasks on it. So that's a little bit about creating lists in groups in Microsoft To Do. So I want to talk a little bit more about sharing and assigning tasks to people inside a list that you've shared it with. So if I go to this personal one here, and let's say I want some help picking up the milk or paying the school fees, I need to share the list like I've showed you before. If I right click on it, I can also get to share a list just like this. So if I go ahead, I can create my invitation, I can go ahead and send it, copy the link, send it to people, and close it. And notice I have the share symbol on this one. If you ever want to turn off the sharing, just right click on it again and go to sharing options, manage access, stop sharing, and you'll see that go away. So in this case, I want this on. I'm going to go ahead and close it. When I have this sharing on, it allows me to assign tasks here. So if I go and pick up the milk, and if I had one of my boys in my list that I've emailed and they joined, I could go ahead and assign it just like this. And if I go ahead and assign it, then they will have that as part of their task in assigned to me. Now you can also, when you're adding a task, if you look down here, you could type the task in. If you use the @ symbol and then to start typing the person's name, that will come up and that will do the assigning there, and it will also be assigned to me for them. So if they assign me something, that's going to come up in my assigned to me on it. The next thing I want to show you is to take advantage of search. So I'm just going to close this down. And if I go ahead here, if I'm searching for something, so if I go and type Excel, notice how quickly that this comes up. So it searches great. So if you get lots of tasks, use your search. The other thing I want to point out is the use of hashtags. So if I go to maybe this video editing, I'll go to this and I'm going to add a note. If I add hashtag, and I'm just going to say YouTube, and just like that, I'll click off of it. Notice that it's highlighted. If I was searching now, it comes up, it finds the hashtag, and I could, it brings me there. So that's another way that you can help sort your different tasks, or using the hashtag inside the notes of each task. So I just want to show you a little bit more about how Microsoft To Do integrates with Microsoft Outlook. And I'm going to point out this right here, flagged email. If you don't see this right here as one of your lists, remember you can turn them on if you go to settings and go down a little bit, and there is flagged emails. Now, in my case, you can see that I go here and there's two different flagged emails. One was crossed out already, but if I go to my Microsoft Outlook here, I have these two flagged. So I flagged them over here and it shows up in this list, this flagged emails. If I click on any of these, you can see it gives me some information about those right in your to-do. Another way that you can integrate the two together, if I go over to my Microsoft Outlook here, and I'm just going to be random with which one I pick. Let's say I pick this one and drag it into my task and create a task for it here. So save and close. If I go back over to my to-do list here and open this up, I'm going to go to my task. Doesn't look like anything's there. Sometimes it takes a while to sync, but you can go up and sync right through here. And there it goes and pops open. If I click on it, gives me the information to it. And if there's anything I need to be added to this as a remind me or due date, I can add those things to my task or select them and they go off just like that too. So hopefully you like this overview of how to use Microsoft To Do. It's free, it's easy to use, and can really help you organize your day-to-day business. So thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.